Hey everybody, I'm Gary Lucas, and it's Saturday afternoon here in the West Village of New York City on July 18th. It's already July 18th. How time flies when you're not doing much. No, I've really been busy, and I've been doing a lot, actually, and certainly playing for you guys is paramount in my mind. I'm always trying to come up with something fresh and different on all these shows. And this must be, I don't know, about number 60 or so in the 4 months since lockdown. So let's get right down to it, everybody. Okay, that's a little something called Cruel, and that is one of the somewhat unreleased lost songs that I wrote with Jeff Buckley. And I was very happy that one of you guys sent me the new Italian edition of a graphic novel about the life of Jeff, and I posted an image from it on my homepage here, which I guess you're on if you're watching this. At least if you're watching this on Facebook, you will get a chance to see it forever and ever on YouTube as of tomorrow. And anyway, I guess this is originally something that was published in the U.S., but they've licensed it internationally, so that's from the Italian edition. I know, yeah, it was my friend Pierre Ruiz. I want to thank him for sending me that image. And Pierre got behind all these songs that I wrote with Jeff, these unreleased songs, in a very big way a year ago or so, insofar as doing a record for his label Azor Disco, based in Rome, of new studio versions of all of the 12 songs I wrote with Jeff, 5 of which had never officially gotten any release. They're on some dodgy bootleg from a company based in Cyprus, I believe. It's funny how these things travel, and Cyprus really is beyond the long reach of my lawyers. Anyway, I think they've sent takedown notices. But the funny thing is, that record is being sold on iTunes. Now, I think that we have to go to iTunes about this, because I for sure am not getting paid, nor would the Buckley estate on the song publishing there. And that's another book. That's another book I'm preparing, which goes into the shadowy world of publishing, music publishing, and how monies are created out of nothing, virtually. And anyway, you will read about it in good time. And anyway, so check out that record. It's called The Complete Jeff Buckley and Gary Lucas Songbook, featuring the Nero, Davide Combusti. He's really a great vocalist, and he stepped up to the plate with his buddy Francesco Arpino, who produced the thing and is also a player on it. We had a great show in Rome last summer, and packed this outdoor arena, doing all these songs. I think it was at the beginning of August. And then we had a lengthy tour in December, in which, I don't know, maybe we were all exposed to whatever is lurking out there. But I'm okay, and I know those guys are too, so we survived it. But as you know, Italy went into a severe lockdown mode, which they came out of, unlike the U.S., in which, as you probably are aware of, cases are spiking all over the place. And for me, it's supremely irritating to see so many young people, the dreaded millennials, who I'd love to befriend if I could, but their hygienic habits vis-a-vis the rest of the population here in the West Village leaves something to be desired, insofar as they don't believe in wearing masks now. There's a big movement with these al fresco outdoor dining going on. It's very European, in fact. I mean, because right now you can't go to restaurants in New York State. I don't know anywhere actually in the U.S. where you can still go into restaurants, but maybe you can in some states. Certainly not in California, where I have relatives. But here they've solved that problem sort of by putting platforms out on the street in front of the restaurants with little, I don't know, beach balls. There's one of them, I don't want to shame these people, but they've got this platform set up right in front of a bunch of garbage pails behind a metal mesh barrier that I know for a fact to be a rat hole. And that Carolyn and I have stumbled across many a rat there. We have to be very careful walking after dark. So I hope the diner's experience of fine dining is not marred by the experience of sighting a rat while they're eating, but they're right next to the rat holes. So anyway, yeah, all it was to complete that thought. So all it would take, I mean, there's supposedly social distancing was 6 feet. I don't see it. You know, maybe they've worked it out. It doesn't look like 6 feet to me, but in any case, you may remember from the early days of the pandemic, there were a lot of graphics from China that showed how easy it was to infect a whole restaurant, even if you were sitting, not facing a person who might be dining behind you, and how it could spread. And all it would take would be one asymptomatic person coming in from out of state who's a carrier of this virus, and, that he might go out to dinner, she might go out to dinner with, his or her buddy, and in one of these, fine dining, al fresco operations out there on the sidewalk. That is worrisome to me, and I hope to you. But anyway, you can lead a horse to water. Wear your masks, everybody. And while I'm on that subject, I want to unmask the Batmen and women here who contributed. Mark Green, who took a lesson from me. He's quite a great guitar player in his own right, and he's taken a deep dive into my Chinese music. And I'm happy to give lessons if you can afford me. Just contact me, Gary at GaryLucas.com. We can do it on Zoom or Skype or FaceTime if you'd like. But that we had a real good one the other day. Joseph Tomasello, who writes, "All the love right back at you." Thank you. Well, I love to play for you guys. What can I tell you? Guy Story, who's a very, very excellent singer-songwriter, guitar player in his own right. Thank you for your contribution. And Peter Herschel, also ditto. And, well, I should just shut up and play the guitar, right? I'll let Frank Zappa. So let's retire this for the nonce. And I'm going to pick up my J45. I had a request from my friend Richard Timms, who's been a real stalwart viewer and contributor over many months here, who's based in Herefordshire, over there in Blighty. And he gave me a whole list of stuff that he wants to hear. So, okay, I'm going to play some of it now. Richard, you got to throw down. No. This one is called My Snow White. My Snow White. This instrumental appears on an excellent, if I do say so, album I made in Budapest, Hungary, a couple of years ago with my old buddy Tony Dejo, who's a saxophonist and a conceptualist, great guy, who comes from a Hungarian band called Tudósok, which in English is The Scientists. So he's a veritable Fauci of music, I gotta say. I love working with him. I go back to doing concerts he arranged in the 90s for me in Budapest. And my friend Eric Don from Amsterdam, we drove all the way to do one show there that was pretty special, a lot of fun. Gee, and it took us 14 hours to drive back the next day to East Germany, where I was staying with a friend. So those were the days. So, and I have to mention the singer on this record, Enikő Szabó, who is a real star traditional Hungarian folk singer. So this record, under the title Pearly Clouds, came out to all sorts of amazing reviews, and you should check it out. I believe it's now on the Phono label, but Tony and I made a record called Gary and Tony Go Nuts, which has, you know, a very prescient kind of horror film soundtrack instrumental entitled Trout Fishing in Trump America with a K, which was well ahead of the election. I had some unpleasant premonitions of the way things were going to go down, and I'm still, despite the poll numbers, we got to get the vote out, boys and girls, because a lot could happen in the next 3 months before the election, and, you know, I don't really trust the situation to stay stable with a stable genius so determined to cling on to power there. So enough said on that, but you know how I feel. And, well, let's see what else we got in the hopper. Now, I love to play this guitar, and I hope... So while I mention that neck of the woods, I want to also mention lovely Serbia, who still are not in the EU. Maybe they know something the other countries don't know, but they've clung on to their independence very fiercely, although I think they are up for admission. And I love to play there. I've had some great concerts, especially at my friend Emir Kusturica's Kustendorf Music and Film Festival, high on a mountaintop near the Croatian border. And I played there. Also, a couple summers ago at the Bolshoi Festival, which is a festival of classical music, and met many Russian dignitaries who came in there. And regarding Russia, you know, I've played there 6-7 times, and always had a good time playing, and had a lot of adventures. If you go and check a blog, I was a very active blogger for a while, and it's still up there. If you're interested, I go into detail about some of the adventures. I played solo and with film soundtracks live, and with Gods and Monsters, we had a wonderful couple of amazing gigs with the full lineup of Jerry Harrison, Billy Ficca, Ernie Brooks, and Jason Candler. Super memorable, unrepeatable. I mean, this is definitely going in my next book. I don't want to give too much away, but it was a lot of fun. Back to Serbia and Hungary. My favorite Hungarian director is the great Béla Tarr, who I made a pilgrimage to meet, actually, in Sarajevo. I went there on a mission to shake his hand because I was so taken after discovering his film Satan Tango, which I recommend highly, all of his films, actually. And maybe that isn't the best one for a novice to start with, because it's 7 hours long, you know. It's up there with Parsifal as perhaps an uncomfortable on the buttocks watching experience, but you should check him out as a filmmaker. You can get him on DVD, and I think they've put Satan Tango out recently in a new mix or a new 5K restoration, whatever they call it, on Blu-ray. But Béla Tarr was teaching. He had a film academy in Sarajevo for a few years and was taking in international students. And so I took a trip from Belgrade in a van that was also pretty memorable, all the way to see him and just meet him. And he was very gracious. And I hung out with him for a day. And so I love also his collaborators' work individually. And he is very tight with a great Serbian musician and composer, and that is Vij Mihai, or Mihai Vish, who had a group called Trabant that's named after the East German clunker car, the Trabant, who are very good. And he's the lead, sinister lead in Satantang. He's quite a good actor in this film. So check his work out. And so, and also, the scenarist is a great novelist, experimental novelist, Laszlo Krasnohorkai, who I've met. I have stories about this guy, too. And the best film, if you're interested in Béla Tarr's work, get one that's called, the book is called The Melancholy of Resistance. And the title of this film escapes me for the moment, but it'll come to me. But it's pretty much, everything is all there. And so here's a little music called Dancing in the Pub from Satantango. Clip on YouTube of this where my friend Phil Mango integrated my image of playing this piece inside the bar scene, which runs on for about 15 minutes without a break. Béla Tarr is the master of the long take, where the camera just keeps rolling until the reel of film is exhausted. A little bit like Andy Warhol's early films in a way, when you think about it. And in that particular scene, which is a high point of Satantango, one of them, it's actually a bar full of absolutely piss-faced drunk people cavorting with loaves of French bread on the head of one guy and a very blowsy female dancing wildly. It's great. That's, to me, the true rock and roll spirit right there. And anyway, I don't think Béla Tarr is making films anymore, which is a shame because he's so great. And I hope, he does in the future again, but it's very difficult, I guess, to get financing for films, even someone who's as lionized an art film director as Tarr. And go see that now. I'm trying to think. The film that you must see if you're interested in seeing his work. Well, one good one is Damnation. That's excellent. Very dark. Rains a lot. All of his films have a kind of soggy, sodden atmosphere. The Turin Horse is also amazing. Really amazing. But this one, based on Melancholy of Resistance, pretty much encapsulates the entire Béla Tarr Weltanschauung, or let's say mythos, worldview. Anyway, I'll have to write it in a caption when we're done. And we're already like 5 minutes away from that, but all right, so what have I been doing? What have I been up to? I've been going through a Malcolm McLaren renaissance here, listening to the great Duck Rock album, and also Bow Wow Wow. And, I think he's gone now. He definitely shook things up as a conceptualist. Absolutely brilliant, his ideas. He had a stream and a string of great ideas, going back to, of course, the Sex Pistols. But do you know, he managed the New York Dolls in their last incarnation in a period where they were wearing red leather suits, and came over. He had a boutique in London called Sex, or then I think it was called Seditionaries, with his partner Vivienne Westwood, who continued to flourish as a designer. And but he couldn't get really the Dolls going, and they split up. But he came back so strong with the Sex Pistols, and that whole story is amazing. So check out The Great Rock and Roll Swindle. But I particularly like this post-Sex Pistol stuff the best. And Bow Wow Wow, I'm going through a total renaissance. And I got their cassette, Pat, when it came out, and really loved the songs. I never did see them, but I think they're so great and accomplished a band with real style. And so let's see, do I have a Malcolm story? Yeah, I got one Malcolm story, okay. I got married for the second time in 1985 to Caroline, who might walk in here at any minute. I don't know, she's out getting her hair done. So I gotta check this out. Maybe we'll all get a chance to get a nice glimpse if she's allows this. But we were in London, and we were staying at a place called the Portobello Hotel, which I don't know if you know London, but it was famous among underground music circles for a couple of things. One was a room that had a round circular bed a la Hugh Hefner. This bed made it on the cover of a few albums, including kind of a gay disco outfit called Wide Boy Awake. I think the cover is a shot taken in the front room up on the second floor there. And the other thing of note about this establishment was they had a bar and a restaurant that was open 24 hours. So I first discovered it on tour with Beefheart. In 1980, we were taken, me and Don, after playing at Richard Branson's club, The Venue, in London, to the Portobello Hotel, where they woke up the guy who came down and made food for us and served drinks. And that's pretty good, because a lot of things, I don't know how things are now in England, but everything would shut, especially the Tube would shut, at a very, significantly early hour, a lot earlier than New York, which really still is the city that never sleeps, but it's a lot less activity now, that is for sure. And anyway, so I booked for our honeymoon that room with the round bed and a sunken bathtub, or a bathtub, let's say, up on legs, Victorian-style bathtub. Really a great place to congregate. And then I heard from Scuttlebutt at the front desk that Malcolm McLaren had checked in the day after me and was staying up in the same room next to our room with Lauren Hutton, the model and actress, who was his girlfriend at the time and who has a famous gap tooth. Check her out, because a very nice person who I met later with Julian Schnabel. And all I know is, I was taking a shower, I think, on the second day there. Caroline was still sleeping. And through the paper-thin wall of the hotel bathroom, that I was in, taking a shower, I heard the unmistakable tones of Malcolm McLaren, who said, and I'll never forget this, "Wake up, Lauren. This ain't Hollywood." Yeah. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that right now. To be continued. I love to play for you. I hope. I'm very wired on this coffee here. I'm not sleeping well at all in this period. I get about 4 hours sleep. I go to bed about 3, and I cannot really stay in bed past 7:30, and so I get up and work. But I'll be here, as always, starting Tuesday, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 3 p.m. until somebody forces me to take a holiday. If somebody would invite us out of town, we might consider going. No, just kidding. I love being here, hunkered down in the West Village. actually I'm able to focus a lot easier than with other distractions. So until Tuesday, I hope you have a swell weekend. Love you guys. Please visit PayPal. You know, they're going to cut that pandemic stimulus money to freelancers any day now. I think it runs out on the 26th. We'll see if Mitch McConnell and his trolls, actually... I don't think Trump has a chance of getting elected, though, if he does discontinue this money, because there won't be an economy left at all. I mean, how are people going to spend money to revive anything without money circulating, with all these people out of work? So anyway, I'll see you again soon, but please visit me on PayPal, please. And if not, I'll be playing for you anyway. All right, take care. Best to you. Love you. Bye-bye.